All right, we're on our beautiful new series. And how did everybody do with your guilt last week? I did perfect with guilt. Did anybody notice it as a warning sign? It is a warning thing. If you did not hear the Sunday service, you may want to go back and watch it. I think it's from God, so yeah, sure, watch it. All right. As you know, I was guided to do a series this month from this book, Love Without End by Glenda Green. We're going to reference this a lot. Some of the primal things that we need to work on are just changing that simple perspective, which we talked a lot about last week. So love your stuff and heal greed. Do you love your stuff? Okay.
I love my stuff.
Okay, thank you. Do you want more stuff?
No. I do.
Thank you. Fuller, it's for you. No. We ideally, we love our stuff. Ideally, we always want more. Remember when you were a kid and people would talk to you, and this is just from my generation, maybe you young pups didn't have it, but greed was a concept that we were taught as a child, and people would say to us, don't be greedy. Don't be greedy. And when they were saying that, they were saying, don't take as much as you want. Take less than what you want. Save some for the rest of us. And I was definitely raised that way. If there was ever a potluck or something, my father, I was just raised this way. You do not get in line until everyone has been served. And you get a bit of what might be left, if there is anything. Then I got in cahoots with Patrick, and you know what he did to the 3 children that we raised, my son and his 2? Go to the front, guys, go. Fill it up, people, there's not much. So it was a totally different concept. So whether you were raised like Cindy or like Patrick presents to his children, the idea of allowing yourself to have what you want, allowing yourself to have plenty is challenging. Even if you were raised in a concept where you were encouraged to, it's still a challenge. So I want us to work on 2 goals, 2 concepts today. What is mine by divine right? And what is mine by my level of consciousness? What is mine by divine right, and what is mine by my level of consciousness? So I want to talk about level of consciousness first. Level of consciousness is my functioning level of awareness. It's what I believe to be true for me, which is going to be different than any one of you all. Everybody has our own functioning level of awareness, what is true for me, how I choose to live, how I express myself, how you express yourself. There is, in the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus says this in the Aquarian 97. He is talking about trying to give them some insights into the 10 Commandments. Resist not him who would deprive you of your goods. He who would take your coat by force is still a brother man, and you should gain his heart. This is done by non-resistance. Give him your coat and offer him still more and more. In time, the man will rise above the brute, and you will have saved him from himself. All right, so let's think about that for just a minute. If a man comes and wants your coat, and they used to wear their clothing. That was the thing that culturally they would wear coat, they'd have layers on. And so if the man wants your coat, give him your coat, you still have other layers on. And give him more, offer him more. Offer him more and more. Over time, you will melt him down. What does that say about you? What does that say about your consciousness? You have the consciousness of getting another coat. You own the coat. You're going to keep having more and more to give. Do you hear what I'm saying? Whereas most people, if you're giving and giving and giving, you feel like you're going to give to depletion because you're limited. But when you have the consciousness of owning it, give your coat. You get another coat. It happens that fast. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's your level of consciousness. When we are in the flow and we know we own it, it will return immediately. And that way we have plenty to share, plenty to give, plenty to receive. He wasn't saying give to denial of self. Okay? But can you see your level of consciousness? All right. Do you all own your coat? Yeah. All right. In Love Without End, I'm going to start on 231. And this is about consciousness as well. Money can obtain your possessions, although it cannot establish your true ownership. You can buy something, but that doesn't mean you own it. It may not be a part of your consciousness. Whatever truly belongs to you is determined by what your heart attracts and your love commands. That's consciousness. Have you ever wanted something that was new for you and you bought it or achieved it or got it and then it was gone very quickly? You ended up giving it away or you lost it. That's because you did not own in consciousness that thing that you wanted. So your money could buy you stuff, but what you own is determined by what your heart attracts and what your love commands. Okay? What you are allowing yourself to experience and to feel. True ownership is in the heart. Only the properties of your heart can bring fulfillment and nourishment to your life. In practicing moderation, you will know this. You will be able to shop for groceries and know what foods you need. You will not have to eat excessively to compensate for subconscious cravings. The heart fulfills, and as the heart fulfills, it takes you down a path of moderate energies. Moderate meaning not denial. It just means, what do I need for today? What do I need to give today? What do I need for tomorrow? What do I need to give tomorrow? We are in touch with the flow. Do you understand? Moderation, okay? Moderation is not an invocation of limits, but rather an invitation that a person is more complete when in balance. When a person is governed by what he or she can love, everything comes in what they can handle. And what you can handle brings moderation to you. Are you guys disliking that word? Replace it with balance. If you don't like the word, replace it with balance. All right? Mankind has destroyed much of its sensitivity about true need and rightful ownership through the practice of excess. Such abuse is not limited to excess of things. Do you know anybody who hoards things? Excess of physical pleasures. Do you know anyone who might do that? I know it's not you. This is you. Ready? There is also excess of work, excess of mind, excess of denial, excess of suffering, excess of punishment, excess of grief, and excess of control. There are those whose lives are consumed by failure and poverty without ever realizing that their form of excess is personal denial. Is that not powerful? Their lives are filled with poverty and failure because they have an excess of personal denial. Now, did you find anything that you have an excess in? We all have some. We all have some. So what is our goal? Balanced life. To live a level of consciousness, to have what we love, to have what we can enjoy, and to know that we don't have to go out of balance. Have what we love and have what we can enjoy, okay? Greed is, by definition, an overwhelming desire to acquire or have an excess of what one requires or deserves. A desire to acquire more than you require. Desire to acquire more than you need. A desire to acquire more than you need. That is greed. Jesus and Glenda are talking, and she's asking about money. And she says, okay, look, Jesus, Paul teaches that love of money is the root of all evil. Did you really say that? And Jesus says to her, yeah, not really. I was really talking about greed, and here's what he says. In the presence of greed, people go to extremes. In the presence of extremes, the idea of scarcity is invented. If you go to extremes, the idea of scarcity is invented. Why? I'm going to an extreme because I need it, because it might not be there. Going to extreme because I need it because it might not be there. Did anybody experience that during the COVID experience that we had? You know, where, yes, toilet paper, whatever. Yeah, I already told you about Patrick and his consciousness. So I'm watching all of this with big eyes. And Patrick always buys groceries. I don't go. He always buys. And so he'd go to the grocery store, and never, ever did he not find what we needed. Ever. It was always there. It would be somebody just stocked it. It would be just the perfect thing. Never was there in his consciousness one idea that it would not be there for him. And it was. And of course, you know, he might buy the bigger pack of it. But he was trusting. But a lot of us, if I had been shopping, yeah. I'm going to buy a bunch, you know, because we did not know what was going to happen. And the world was giving us scarcity. The world was telling us it was scarce, and we were experiencing scarcity. When you cannot find your shampoo, people, we have a problem. My shampoo was not available. Oh, my makeup wasn't available. There were some issues that we had to go through. But we didn't fall into scarcity. We fell into the trust. But anyway, let's get back to, do you see how you can borderline it sometimes? Okay. I won't say that was our big test, but it might have been 2020. All right. When there is an idea of extremes, the idea of scarcity is invented. When scarcity is invented, fear sprouts up like weeds in the garden. Every negative emotion known to man is born from fear. So she goes, well, I'm relieved. I want more money. And Jesus said, that's okay. Have more money. He said, money is just a certificate of exchange. Actually, people are economically healthier when they are doing a lot of exchanging. I like to see people actively exchanging goods and services. When economics are fluid, structures have trouble dominating. When people exchange freely, no one goes hungry, no one goes unemployed, and no worthy idea goes unproduced. Exchange. So when the Cindy consciousness, when I am buying that cute little top that's on a super sale, I am helping the people that made it. I'm blessing the little hands that did the machine. You see? And I don't think just me. I think circle. I'm blessing this company so they'll stay around and keep feeding me beautiful deals. You know? Circle. Do you see the difference? Exchanging, being a part of a circle where I can give and I can receive, and I give and I receive, and we're a part of this beautiful circle of flow. Greed is an obsessive desire which attempts to nourish and supply the needs of life without love. Greed is an illness that subverts love and counterfeits love's bounty with addictive possessions. When you do not have love in your life, you tend to use greed to fill the space. When you are feeling like I need more of this or more of that or more of the other, we will tend to go out of balance and try to acquire these things in excess. Now, we don't call that greedy, do we? I'm just doing what I want to do. But we're actually not acknowledging why we need the excess. Why do I need the excess? Because I'm missing something in my heart. Because the love that would keep me in balance is out of balance. And so I'm trying to fill myself up with these things. So it's an illness that subverts love. Love is the power. That which subverts it creates the negativity. Anything that subverts your power, your love. It's not limited to material possessions or money. It can be greed for attention, greed for influence, greed for fame, education, greed for therapy, greed for misery, anything which can establish bonds of attachment without love. So you are not wrong to consider that the absence of love brings problems, and the greatest problem a person can have comes from the absence of love. I can have it all. I can have everything. I can have it for me. I can have it to share. A lot of people, when they're asking for abundance, they say, I want to win the lottery. And I'll always say to them, why? Why do you want to win the lottery? And they'll say, so I can help everybody. So I can save everybody from their problems. And it's like, well, you're just saying you want to be God for them? You want to be their source? Oh, no, I didn't think of it that way. Okay, now let's rethink it. Why do you want to win the lottery? What do you want to do with that? What do you want to do with that? And most of the time it's, I want to stop worrying about achieving. I want to stop worrying about needing to produce. And really what we're saying is, I want to stop worrying about exchanging. When we step out of the exchange of energy, we've stepped out of our hearts. You can be as wealthy as anyone else without the lottery. You know, most of you have already made $1 million. You know that. No, seriously, add up your annual salary for the years that you've been working. You've made $1 million or more. You are prosperous. We need to want to stay in the flow. We don't need to save anyone else. We need to tend our own heart garden. I suggest that you contemplate infinity and the abundance of the universe so you can strengthen your consciousness and your connection to the rest of life. There's a simple guideline which will give you unlimited potential for expansion without the perils of greed. Do not take more than you can truly love. There it is. Do not take more than you can truly love. If you truly love it, take it all. Take all you can truly love. But if you can't truly love it, maybe it's not yours. Maybe it's not yours to tend, to grow. You love a cat, you love the second cat, to love the third cat. Can you truly love the sixth one? Yeah. Some people do, some people love them, I'm seeing it. But as long as you're truly loving them. Do not take more than you can truly love. That is the key. So that takes us back to our hearts immediately. So I wanted to share another story in the Aquarian. And this is 111 chapter. This is a parable. Jesus is talking with someone has asked him to stand in and judge a situation with his family. And actually, he may be talking to this young man still. And he says the things of nature are the things of God. And what it belongs to God, it belongs to everybody alike. We're all the same. It's ours to share. And then he says, the wealth of a soul lies in the purity of life and in the wisdom that descends from heaven. So there you go. That's your wealth. Here's his parable. A rich man, his ground brought forth abundantly. His barns were far too small to hold his grain. And he said to himself, what shall I do? I must not give my grain away. I must not let it go to waste. And then he said, this I'll do. I'll tear down those little barns and I'll build bigger ones. And there I will store away my grain. And I will say, my soul, take your ease. You have enough for many years. Eat, drink, fill yourself, and be content. And God looked down and saw the man and saw his selfish heart and said, you foolish man, this night your soul will quit its house of flesh. Then who will have your garnered wealth? So that was his little parable, his little talk. So when we're reading this metaphysically, what's our key? My soul, take your ease. You have enough. Drink and fill yourself and be content. My soul, we're done. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to give anything. You don't have to receive anything. What is life on planet Earth about? Giving and receiving. He called forth his exit. You have plenty now. You've achieved. You're taken care of for the next umpteen years. It's his exit. And the moral of this was to flow. Do not worry about what's yours. Worry about what can serve you. Can it serve you? Do you love it? And if you're done, you flow it. You let it go out from you. Patrick and I being in the ministry 30 years, so many people who struggle with flow. They struggle with flow. If the IRA isn't at a certain point, if the savings account isn't at a certain point, they struggle with generosity. They'll take care of their needs, but they struggle with generosity of spirit to flow energy to God, to life, to people around them. And then the people who don't even have an IRA, couldn't put one together if they could, they will give you the shirt off their back. They don't care. Like, I know God's going to get me another shirt. I'm not worried about it because I am in the flow. I trust. Sometimes we make ourselves have less income, so we learn that. What's to worry about? Let me just enjoy this beautiful flow of energy because God has me. And the more you know that, the more can come to you. And you can grow your level of consciousness to have that 401k and to have that IRA or whatever it is, that investment properties that you have, portfolios. You can grow it all to that. But when you grow it to that and you have it sitting there, if you're sitting it there for when I die, the kids inherit, great. It's for the kids. Give it to the kids. They might need it now. It's great. Or if you're sitting it there for if I get sick, great. You're going to get sick. Great. It's going to be great. Enjoy. We want to have assets, energy. You can have as much as you want, but have it in a space where you love it, it has a purpose, and you can flow it without a second thought about it. When your value is of being of light, of on this planet, is measured by your net worth, what you have financially, what you own, you will stand before God absolutely naked, absolutely empty, because it is the heart that you are here to grow, not your substances. Not your substances. And I know that I'm on the money thing right now, but let's think about our work. Let's think about how often do we work like crazy? How often do we work like crazy? Day in, day in, day in, day in, day in. Night, 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 night. I know. How often? And if the time comes for me to cross over, you know what I'm going to say to Holy Spirit? When Jesus, when they're standing there going, come on, Cindy, you're done. I'm going to, no, I'm not done. I haven't finished my list. I have way too much to do here. I can't give this to somebody else. I can't do it. And I'm going to stand before God and I'm going to say, put me back in now. I got to get back in that house, get that thing cleaned out, get those projects finished, you know? But is that who I am as a spirit? No. We want to walk in contentment, and that's the meaning of moderation. We want to walk with that flow moving through us, flowing, exchanging, joyfully giving, joyfully receiving, and valuing our light, trusting the flow of the universe. All right. And not building up. It's okay to build a bigger barn as long as you have an intention to serve the world and yourself in a bigger way. To build a bigger barn so you don't have to do anything else takes you out of the flow of life. All right, do not take more than you can truly love. Thinking about abundance, do not take more than you can truly love. This takes us into the consciousness of mind by divine right. If I am one with Father, Mother, God, and if God is all supply and support, I am one with all supply and support. Divine right. My divine right to access and be one with God. In Aquarian, it says, what child would ask the father for bread and have his father give him a stone? And if a human father can love his child more this much, doesn't your heavenly Father love you all the more? All your needs, all the things you're willing to receive, all the things you are willing to receive, you will receive. God will bring it to you. You will receive it by your level of consciousness. But what is for you is by divine right. You have no idea what is in store for you. When we can say, I am child of God, when we can know I am child of God, when we can say, Father, Mother, God, I might have messed up my life. Let me give you back control. Show me, bring to me what is mine by divine right. Not level of consciousness, but divine right. And I'm calling forth divine intervention, and I'm calling forth greater than I can possibly handle right now, but I'm wanting it, and I'm opening up a vessel within me to receive it. Do you guys see? What is mine by divine right? If we know that by divine right, health, happiness, wholeness, strength, beauty, peace, wealth, all of that is ours by divine right, if we want it. And then by level of consciousness. If you own a coat, you'll probably always have a coat. Do you understand? It takes a lot of work to lose that. All right. Level of consciousness is how I believe. The divine right is who I am. If we start thinking about that, then watch your excesses. Watch your excesses. Be in the flow. You own your life. That's what Jesus said. You own your life. You own your heart. You own your life. So as you live your life and you work with God, flow with God, wealth is the natural harvest. We do not have to go to excess. Greed is a state of excess. Okay? The heart is a powerful magnet center that generates life energy for the body and the soul and draws to all the needs and requirements of your life. The life that you chose, the pattern you chose, all that you need to experience. When you have an overwhelming desire to acquire and you want to take a little bit more, stop and take a moment. Look at your heart. Where do you need love? Who do you need love from? Don't take less just because either, y'all. That's control. But when you have a desire to have a little bit more, look at your heart. Where do you need love? Okay, let's go within. Let's just breathe, breathe, breathe. Feel that beautiful love of Father, Mother, God coming over us. See a beautiful column of light just descending. And I would ask you to feel your energy field. What are you feeling in this moment? What emotion do you feel? What is the vibration? What is the light? Feel the beautiful love of Father, Mother, God coming into the column of light. Feel yourself lifting up. Feel the presence of Jesus Christ with you. And allow yourself just to drop now to the heart center and just go deep into the garden of the heart. Allow yourself to go there. Move into the space where you are aware of heaven in your heart. You are aware of God's love. Look around. What aspect of me needs more love? What aspect of my life needs more love? Just notice it. Maybe several, maybe one. Maybe you feel or just sense an energy. Father, Mother, God, we now call forth your love and light to fill this space, the space that needs more love. By divine right, as your children, we call forth your love, your peace to fill this space within us. And feel the energy just lifting, feel the vibration shifting. And there's nothing you need to do. Receive the love of God. Now breathe it in. I open my level of consciousness to receive what is mine by divine right. Feel it coming into you. I open my level of consciousness to receive what is mine by divine right. Father, Mother, God, I stand as your child, radiant, whole, and perfect. And I'm grateful. Feel your gratitude for this beautiful space within you. And just take Jesus by the hand and gently begin to come back from the heart, knowing you are safe, you are okay, you are good. come back from the heart. Find yourself sitting back in your chair. I am ready to receive all that is mine by divine right. I call it forth and I call it good. And I thank you, God. Breathe. When you're ready, you can just gently open your eyes. I hope you felt a shift. Did anyone have spaces come up in your world that need more love? I hope you felt a shift when that love of God came through. And if you did, you realize there's nothing you have to do. There's no 1, 2, 3 to go and solve it. Just let the love flow through it. Okay. So last week I asked you to be aware of when you were feeling guilty. Watch your excesses this week. And they may be mindless excesses. Maybe too many hours in front of the TV. Maybe something. But we all tend to fill those gaps. Let's just take responsibility. We may not be the greedy people that we think of, but we may be living in a less than balanced space. So we want to balance with that beautiful heart. Last week, where's the answer to your guilt? Follow your heart. This week, what is the answer to feeling that you need excess? Fill up your heart. Go to your love. It's all love, guys. Say, yay, God. Yay, God.